In this video, we're going to talk about learning target 3. You just finished up learning target 1, which is performing operations on polynomial expressions. So we're going to talk about learning target 3 now, which is just the different forms that an equation can come in. And we're going to apply these two learning targets together eventually to change between the forms. But first, we just have to talk about general form, vertex form, and factored form. So first example I've got here, we've got this parabola in black. That's the parent function, y equals x squared. And then we've got a parabola that has been translated. I can tell that by the vertex. The vertex is at 4, -2 versus 0, 0. And then I can tell that it's been scaled because I can see that the next nice point is 7, 4, which is the image of the point 1, 1 from the original parabola. And so I look at the horizontal scale factor and the vertical scale factor. It went from 1, 1 to 3, 6. So horizontally it's been stretched by 3, vertically it's been stretched by 6. So being able to write the equation, I know the vertex, so I'm going to use vertex form. So this vertex form actually just uses everything that we learned about translations and dilations and reflections and all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 to the y because it's been translated down 2. And I'm also going to divide y by 6 because the scale factor vertically is 6. And then I'm going to take my x and I'm going to add 4. Or no, subtract 4. I'm sorry, I wrote it right the first time because it's been translated to the right 4. And then I'm going to divide by 3 because horizontally it's been scaled by a factor of 3. And then technically that's my equation, but that doesn't look like any nice form that we've seen, so we're going to try to simplify it so that we just have a y equals. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply each side by 6. So I'll end up with the 6 as a coefficient of the other side. And then I'm going to actually apply a trick here. Think about this part here. And think about our exponent rules. We can actually apply the exponent to each part separately. And then we can also break each part out. Like that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, pull that 3 squared out in front so that I can have the whole coefficient in the front and just the x minus 4 inside. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put the 6 over the 3 squared. And multiply that by x minus 4 squared. So I just took that 3 squared and pulled it out front. Kept it in the denominator. Two things at the same time here. Let's subtract 2 from each side. So think about subtracting 2 from each side there. And also simplify. 6 over 3 squared is the same as 6 over 9, which is the same as 2/3. And then minus 2 on this side. So that looks a lot better to me. Okay, that gives us the down 2, right 4, and then the 2/3 scale factor. Okay. Here we've got two parabolas where we can see the roots, the x-intercepts. So that's an important term to remember from algebra. And we can write these in factored form using the zero product property. So what we know is that y equals 0 when x equals 2 or -5. So remember, what we do is we actually set the factors at x plus 5 and x minus 2 because we want the terms to become equal to 0 because we want it to equal 0 when we put an x value in there. So we want either -5 plus 5, we want that term to equal 0, or we want this term to equal 0. So either of those two solutions positive 2 in for x or negative 5 in for x will make one of the terms equal to 0. And then the zero product property basically then says that it doesn't matter what the other term is. So we can get either, we can get either term out by plugging in the x value. So for example, if I was to make and take and put in a negative 5, to find y, I would do negative 5 plus 5 times negative 5 minus 2, which would just be 0 times negative 7, which would give me my y of 0. And if I was to put a positive 2 in for x as well, it wouldn't matter that the first term was 2 plus 5, because the second term is 2 minus 2, so that'd be 7 times 0, which just gets me my 0 for the y. So as you can see, I've got my 2 points, negative 5, 0 here, and 2, 0 here. Okay. All right, and then another thing that we have to think about is the fact that there might be a scale factor. We can always find that scale factor. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but let's just put an A in front of there to remind you that sometimes we're going to have to find that. So we can talk about that during class. So then this one right here, I'd do the same thing. I'd say scale factor of A, we don't know what that is yet, and then I would just put my roots in using the zero product property. Okay? So just quickly writing down the 3 forms. This should not be new to you, but go ahead and write those down in your notes. I'm going to move on, but pause it if you need more time to write those down. And then before class, I want you to use this parabola here and in your notes to write the equation in vertex form and in factored form. And then this part right here, show that equations are equivalent by converting them to general form. So use those skills from LT1 to convert it to general form. Okay? Bring that with you to class next time.